Well, folks, this one's it, the final trip of the class. I really hope that you've enjoyed this program as much as I've enjoyed putting it together and working with it over the years. The last thing you're going to be studying is the marine fish. Phylum Chordata, because they have a chord. Subphylum Vertebrata, because they have vertebrae. Then there's different groups, and we'll talk a little bit about the development of each group. You'll need to experience at least 15 different local fish. You can do this by visiting a local aquarium, like the Clearwater Aquarium or the Florida Aquarium, or visit fishing piers in the area. People catch a lot of fish. If you're not a fisher person yourself, if you are, maybe you'll go fishing and get 15 different fish. I'm sure you can take pictures of the little ones that you catch, the larger ones that you catch. You probably don't take pictures of pinfish if you're a fisher person, but you might want to start. Go out there and get a few. Add this to your fish list because you're going to need to observe 15 different fish, either from the local aquarium or a fishing pier, as we said. Now, you're responsible to know and understand the anatomy of the fish, and there's a bony fish there. There are differences between the bony fish, the cartilaginous fish, the jawless fish. The most primitive jawless fish lack paired appendages. The most primitive fish of them all lacks vertebrae. That would be the hagfish, no vertebrae. We'll get to that when we talk about the taxonomy. But you have your dorsal fins, dorsal 1 or 2 dorsal fins. You have pectoral fins. Pectoral fins are the shoulder in the bipedals. That's us. Pectoral fins, the pelvic fins. You can look at this image here, and the pectoral and pelvic fins are right on line. If you can see my cursor moving up, down, that's a advanced feature. Primitive ones have the pelvic fins a little lower on the body. You have the anal fins, the caudal fin tail for locomotion with that S-wiggle. Bony fishes have a gill cover called an operculum. The cartilaginous fish lack that gill cover and have open gills. The lateral line, all fish have the lateral line, that is that sense organ, fluid-filled sense organ. Some fish have barbels, which are used for sense organs, some do not. But you'll need to know your fins, the locations, the lateral line, the operculum versus open gills. Those are things that you'll need to know on the external anatomy. Now, fish were the first organisms to develop skulls. The simplest fish only have skulls. The hagfish, cranium. Vertebrates also started to appear in the fish. In that jawless fish, the transition to a more complex jawless fish, the lamprey has vertebrae. Jaws were the first, our first innovation. They're from gilled arcs. Gill tissue, the lower jaw, was a fish innovation from the jawless fish to the fish with jaws. Paired appendages are a fish innovation. So we owe our arms and legs to fish innovations. Skin is protected skin, protected with scales. Reptiles use scales. Fish are the first to protect that skin. And then the pharyngeal gill slits, which in humans develop embryonically from actual slits to our inner ear and tissue associated with our glands. So the evolutionary innovations of fish are those. They first appear in our fish group. Like I said, we're going to look a little bit at the taxonomy. The jawless fish used to be class Agnatha. It's been broken up. The hagfish have the first skull, but no vertebrae. Then the lampreys, a little more complex, have vertebrae. No paired appendages though, no swim bladder. They don't have scales, they have skin. So they're still very primitive. When you move to the chondrichthyes, they don't have solid bone, except their teeth are calcified. That's called ossified, calcified. They have open gills. So the shark skates rays, and then the deep batfish and chimeras, open gills, no solid bone cartilage except for the teeth. They do have scales. Scales are very similar to teeth. They are basically teeth and scales developed together from the same process, same tissue. The calcified bone, osteichthyes, ichthyes meaning fish, oste meaning bone. The lobe-finned fish have lungs. That's our lungfish. They can move around. It's believed that they are the ancestors of bipeds. The ray-finned fish are the most common fish. What we're most familiar with are the ray-finned bony fish. Bony fish have a swim bladder. That swim bladder is for buoyancy. The cartilaginous fish use oil produced by their large livers for buoyancy. So the bony fish have a swim bladder. Lungs are analogous to that swim bladder. The types of scales we mentioned, the placoid scale are teeth-like that the shark, skates, and rays had. And then the bony fish got the ctenoid with that silent C, or also called cycloid, because they are the overlapping scales. Now for your trip report, location description. You might go to several. You might go to an aquarium. So it's going to vary. Of course, you're going to have a cover. You're going to get your 15 fish that you saw on your trip and use the table provided, adaptions and their purposes, to go through each fish and all of its type. You'll also need to upload pictures of the 15 fish as proof that you, and get selfies at the aquarium or you holding the fish or whatever, that you're directly involved with 15 different fish. So you're gonna write the table up, you're gonna upload pictures as JPEGs, you're gonna attach them and copy them into Word, however you get them. I'm gonna need 15 pictures that you took of fish. And then use the second table, primitive versus advanced. Remember, jawless versus jawed, having a swim bladder, paired appendages. There's a table describing the advancements, and then there's some images. So you're going to complete the table for each of those images. So I hope you enjoy it. And make sure you include your references. And thank you for participating in this class. It's a lot of fun. I hope that the online experience was, what was the best online experience that you've had? Live, it's an amazing class, and I feel that it lends itself well to the videos and to you going out there and getting active in your learning. Thank you for doing this, and I really hope you enjoyed it.